Once upon a time, there was a small village near the forest. Gopal owned a sweet shop. Gopal's sweets were famous throughout the village. Ladus, jalebis, rasgullas, everything was so delicious that people came from far and wide. But Gopal had a big problem. There was a mouse named Chintu living in his shop. Chintu was no ordinary mouse. He was clever, quick, and most importantly, he was crazy about sweets. Every night when Gopal closed the shop and went home, Chintu would begin his theft plan. Gopal tried many times to catch Chintu. He set up mouse traps, called the cat, even laid traps in the corners of the shop, but Chintu always escaped. One night, Gopal thought, "Today, I'll teach him a lesson." He made a huge ladu and placed it near the mousetrap. The smell of the ladu was so strong that even Chintu, sitting in his hole far away, became restless. His nose twitched, and he quickly ran towards the shop. Chintu saw the mousetrap and knew it was a trap, but the lure of the ladu forced him to think. He picked up a stone and threw it over the mousetrap. Crack! The mousetrap slammed shut, and the ladu remained outside. Chintu quickly picked up the ladu and took it to his hole. When Gopal returned in the morning, he found only the empty mousetrap and the ladu missing. He was furious and shouted, "This mouse has given me a hard time!" The next day, Gopal tried a new trick. He placed a small radio in the shop and played it loudly. He thought the noise would scare Chintu away, but Chintu was amused. He started dancing to the tune of the radio and then, seeing an opportunity, picked up a box of jalebi and ran away. Gopal couldn't understand how his plan had backfired. News of Chintu's trickery had now reached the jungle. The animals of the forest called a meeting. The lion, the king of the jungle, said, "This mouse is bringing disgrace to us. If a tiny mouse can fool humans, what respect will we have left?" The fox, always cunning, said, "I will catch him. I have a brilliant plan." The fox said to Gopal, "Make a big batch of rasgullas and place them in the middle of the shop. I will catch the mouse." Gopal did so. Night fell, and Chintu came out again. He saw the rasgullas and his eyes lit up. But he also smelled the fox's scent. Chintu thought, "This fox thinks I'm stupid, but I'm smarter than him." Chintu took the lid from a nearby old box and slid it towards the rasgullas. The fox thought the mouse was approaching and prepared to pounce. But as the fox pounced, Chintu shook the lid and the fox fell straight into an empty bucket. Chintu, laughing, picked up the rasgullas and ran away. The fox remained trapped in the bucket, withering in pain, and in the morning, Gopal saw him and laughed. "Looks like the mouse turned out to be smarter than you." Now Chintu's courage increased even more. He thought, "Why don't I do something big?" He called other mice from the forest and formed a team. His team included Motu, a foodie, and Patlu, a very fast runner. Chintu said, "We'll rob Gopal's entire sweet shop." The plan was hatched. Motu would distract Gopal, Patlu would open the door, and Chintu would take the sweets. The plan began at night. Motu started shouting loudly outside the shop. Gopal came out and tried to chase him away. Meanwhile, Patlu unlocked the door and Chintu rushed in. He picked up a large bag full of ladus, jalebis, and rasgullas. But just then, Gopal came in. Chintu quickly threw the bag to Patlu and hid in a box. Gopal shouted, "You won't escape today!" But Chintu escaped again. However, this time, Chintu had learned a lesson. When he reached his shop, he saw that Motu and Patlu had eaten all the sweets. Chintu said angrily, "I worked hard and you ate them all?" Motu laughed and said, "Cunning is good, but trusting friends is also important." Chintu realized his mistake. He thought that sharing with friends was more fun than stealing. The next day, Chintu left a small note in Gopal's shop which read, "Forgive me, I won't steal anymore." Gopal laughed and held out a small laddu for Chintu. Chintu ate it and happily shared it with his friends.
Moral of the story is things can be achieved by cunning, but true happiness lies in friendship and honesty.